What's up, indie gamers? This week, we are delving into a space odyssey called Heat Signature, a game that I equate to a hot and heavy romance while backpacking in Italy with a girl named Tatiana who doesn't speak a lick of your language, but her legs go on forever, and she smells like bubblegum and questionable decisions.
She tastes like cigarettes.
So you pack up your banana hammock, jump on the back of her moped, and spend the next week in ecstasy within her loving arms, finding out all the nuances you can about her physically because, hey, you're in Italy, and when in Italy, make like a Roman and pave some roads. You know what I'm saying?
Can I go now, sir?
But at the end of the week, you lose your excitement. Sure, she's gorgeous and fun, but you can't build a meaningful relationship with her. And let's face it, the two of you have seen every nook and cranny of each other, so now you just sit on a balcony, eating spaghetti, and say ciao over and over, because asking where the bathroom is over and over isn't romantic and leaves a bad impression. That, my friend, sums up my experience with Heat Signature, a top-down stealth and strategy 2D covert operations game by Suspicious Developments. So the game takes place in space, where the galaxy is largely populated by numerous space stations that are controlled by various factions. You play one of a whole host of thieves, scoundrels, and space pirates that are seeking to liberate various space stations and finish your own personal missions before you retire as a legend. The funny thing about liberating the space stations are that when you liberate them, you actually just ensnare them to your faction. So liberation is just a matter of perspective. See, Mom? Philosophy is a viable major. There is a richness to the look of the game. Even though it's a 2D top-down perspective, some thought was put into the colors of the game, and it really does ensnare you with the feeling of being in the far distant future. It had a really clean, steampunkish vibe to it, and with names like swappers, acid traps, and concussion shotguns as usable items in the game, it also gave a roguelike element, which I enjoyed immensely. I still to this day don't really know what the main premise of the game was, other than your job is to liberate space stations, steal, kill, and hijack stuff. So story-wise, the developers could have added a progressing narrative as you accomplish missions, and the lack of that element actually made the game lose my interest after a bit. But hey, who needs good stories anymore? Just ask Electronic Arts. Everyone knows the best games are the ones with credit card swipe machines attached to them. After all, who wants to buy a complete game when you can slowly buy it over a year? But enough of that. The gameplay of the game is the real MVP, because even though it seems simple, the differing items you can buy and use make up for countless outcomes to missions, and the missions themselves have varying degrees of difficulty. One time I had to kill everyone on the ship I was hijacking, but hey, I didn't have any weapons other than guns that teleported me very long distances, so I waited for the guards to shoot me in engine rooms, and then when the room blew up, I teleported away. And do you know what the guards do if they catch you? They throw your body into friggin' space. Then you have to remotely fly your ship to pick you up before you suffocate in the cold, icy embrace of open space. Many of my characters met untimely ends, but luckily for me, there was an endless supply of thieves and vagabonds willing to take place of their fallen peers. Ring ring! Hello? Yes, this is random space pirate number 15. Really? They threw another one into space? Sure, I could start Friday. The developers were very smart in putting a pause feature into the gameplay though, because it let you have more of a strategic approach to the missions. You could really sit back and reason what you were going to do with the items you had available. This feature also adds a level of strategy to the roguelike experience and makes for some stupidly fantastic in-game decisions. This game lives true to the question, can I do this thing? Yes, you can. The single flaw, however, to the game was its replayability, and I think my comparison at the beginning of this review was the best thing that I could give. After about 5 hours of gameplay, I had successfully used every item, successfully beaten each difficulty, and had liberated about 1/4 of the space stations in the galaxy. I had been blown into space when shattering windows in the hull, taken captive, thrown outside, and had to get my body with my cargo ship. I'd taken captive ships and wrecked them into other ships to assassinate people, and I'd turned defense turrets on their own owners, teleported into space and then swapped positions with the guards so then they would find themselves in space, and blasted a whole ship apart with grenade launchers. But after I'd used every item and beat every difficulty, the experience, well, it became a bit monotonous. So I can't say that this game really has that high of a replayability feature. Now with that said, I'll still say that this game is a must-buy for its asking price of $15, but I understand if people want to wait to get it on sale. I equate this game to other games I play a lot while waiting to play online with friends, because it's quick enough to load and play and not a big deal if you turn it off in mid-scenario. So replayability in that sense is kinda high, but because it lacked a stronger difficulty progression and didn't have a main story to follow, you really lose interest after about an hour of play. Heat Signature deserves a solid 6 out of 10 from me. Even though it's not going to be the love of your life, it makes for a really good friend with benefits. It had a fun enough and simple enough gameplay to keep you engaged, and is easy to pick up randomly while waiting for something more in depth. Perhaps Suspicious Developments might make a sequel that has more of a main storyline to follow along with. The random missions are good, but you can pick them up here or there. A main storyline would really add a little bit of flavor to it. There I go, making people money again. You're welcome, Suspicious Developments. Name a station Censorless Station, and we'll be square. But alas, now comes the end of our time together. So until next time. But before you leave, click the like button below if you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why? We're friggin' fantastic! Oh, also check out our Urban Empire review from last week, and click our store link to see some of the new cool stuff you can buy to help support us. Okay, bye.